This song is for those that know without a doubt in their mind, I made it out all right.
Genesis chapter 33, verse 4. But Esau ran to meet Jacob. And when he got to him, he embraced him. He threw his arms around his neck and he kissed him, and they together, well, read with me again. But Esau ran to meet Jacob, that's his brother, and embraced him, threw his arms around his neck and kissed him, and they, well, I want to talk for a few moments from this thought. When men fight men. When men fight men. You may be seated. When men fight men. From East Pennsylvania to topics such as Kanye West. From God dealing with Satan in heaven to disagreements that break out in the hood. Fighting is everywhere on every day. From the concept of opposing the concept of what we call the white man's reality that we feel in white America, that we're fighting daily, to the true reality that black men kill more other black men than any other race in the world. From politics of impeachment with number 45 to a brother trying to keep his manhood in prison. Men in this hour live with a guard up against other people. And what makes it is, it makes our world defensive to the point and the reality, brothers and sisters, that this has become what is called a normal way of living. But in the scriptures is where we draw hope. Somebody say hope. Hope. Men have always dwelled in harmony with their fellow men. Watch this. Until they were overtaken by another spirit. Let me say it again. Men have no conflict with getting along with each other. It's just until the point that they're overtaken by another spirit. Can I give you a few examples? In Genesis chapter 4, there were two brothers by the name of Cain and Abel. Cain loved his brother Abel and spent every day with him. We know this to be true is because even before Cain allegedly killed his brother Abel, brothers and sisters, he invited him over to his land. And the Bible declares that there was no resistance when Abel was invited to Cain's land. There was no argument when he invited him to come over to his property, over to his house, because this was a normal way of them having harmony. But brothers and sisters, something happened in that text, and that was God had confronted Cain's work against his brother's work. He had compared that work that Cain had done against his brother Abel. And as a result, it made Cain look at his brother differently. And the Bible says, and another spirit overcame him. Genesis chapter 4, verse 5. In 1 Samuel 18, verse 7, there was another couple of characters by the name of Saul and David. Brothers and sisters, Saul and David, they got along. They loved one another. David was Saul's bragging prize. He gave David assignments because he wanted to showcase to everybody that David was a fighter. Brothers and sisters, Saul's leadership, and he wanted to also commend David because he was loyal to King Saul. Until one day. And that one day, brothers and sisters, was when David had returned from battle and had gained the victory, and he heard the chants of the women. Yes, sir. And the women were singing that song. It's there on your screen. And they danced and sang, Saul has only slain thousands, but this boy David has killed tens of thousands. And the next verse, if you read your Bible, says, and from that moment, Saul wanted to kill David. Can I tell you something, brothers and sisters, especially to the ladies in the house? Be careful about bragging on one man in front of another. Y'all ain't gonna say amen. Be careful and guard your mouth about talking how well your last man was with the one you got. I feel like preaching now. Be careful about comparing one son against another, because it creates controversy. It creates another spirit coming upon the other person and causing them to evaluate and look at you differently. And in our text today, Esau loved his brother Jacob, and both of them were cordial. And they were content of being in each other's presence until one day, somebody holler one day, their mother, oh Rebecca, God knows Rebecca. Rebecca began to practice partiality, because you have to be careful, families, when one parent takes kindness to one kid and not the other. And then the other parent, y'all know how it is, that's daddy's girl, and that's mama's boy. You have to be careful with talking that crazy talk, because it can create partiality in the house. Y'all ain't gonna say amen. Now the kids are running around talking about you love them more than you love me. And the true reality is, brothers and sisters, Esau and Jacob loved each other until Rebekah told Jacob, listen, you must take your brother Esau's birthright. That's called manipulation. And what the mother was doing was teaching the younger child Jacob and creating hatred between him and his older brother. Scoot up close, brothers and sisters. I know your family's saved. I know your family is the best family in the world. But some of you are guilty of creating hatred in your family.
Yes, sir. All right. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes.
Your sister, you ain't never been as good as Darlene.
Right.
Darlene was always the best. You ain't never been the best. Y'all ain't gonna say amen to this. And that's what Rebecca did. And all of a sudden, she changed the perspective of the younger child and how he saw his brother, and created hatred between Jacob and Esau. Then Jacob flees for his life, because Esau says, boy, I'm going to kill you the next time I see you. There's nothing worse than seeing sibling rivalry. It's quiet. There's nothing worse than seeing two siblings from the same room fighting and agitating and wanting to kill one another. Let me start 69 and say it again. It's nothing worse than a mother having to see two children that she fed from the same table, bathe with the same towel, wash the same dirty drawers with the same detergent. It's nothing worse than seeing them at odds with each other, ready to fight. Y'all not going to say amen. Many times I was mad at my brother because of things that occurred in our lives, but my mother would always bring us together and says, as long as you live, this your only brother. And I want you to know, brothers and sisters, there are two things I want you to know about all men. Are you ready? The first thing about a man that you must recognize, a man has limited, watch this, maturity. A man has limited maturity. Say that with me. Men have limited maturity. 1 Corinthians 8, there on your screen, verse 2 says, those who think they know something really don't know it like they should. That's called a limitations of one view. A man will fight you based upon what he knows. Now, if he don't know much, he'll fight you over little. Yeah, okay. But when a man is not mature, he is guided by his head knowledge and not by the Spirit of God. Okay, so this is what happens when a man can hold a grudge just as long as a woman. Can I talk to you for a moment? I said a man can hold a grudge just as long as a woman. You're not going to say amen to that? A man, yes, when he is persuaded by the only thing that he finds out. I know brothers and sisters that testimonies that ring from this sanctuary about a brother going over to another brother's house, kicking in the door. By the time he's over there with his 45, getting ready to go in there and hit the man in the head, he found out he was in the wrong house. Y'all ain't gonna say amen. Because he didn't stay around long enough to listen about where the real address was. He went to the wrong house. Y'all ain't gonna say amen. A man will act upon the little bit that he knows. He's limited in his maturity, and many men live from this mentality. I'm gonna get you, sucker. Yes, sir. Ain't nobody gonna say amen to this. This issue becomes with the man when he, watch this, he seems and forced to hate something he used to be in love with. Are there any men in here that would testify that you got into it with something you used to love? Y'all ain't gonna say, man, I've seen men, yes. I've seen men, yes, claim to love a woman, yes. In one season. She was boo in that season. But in another season, she moved from Boo Boulevard to another B word I can't say because I'm saying. Y'all understand? If I really wanted to play a song to reign and resonate throughout the sanctuary, it would be a song that, it's a thin line. We love you. Yes, sir. If you live long enough, brothers and sisters, there's a thin line between harmony and hatred. I don't have anybody testifying. Let me say it again. There is a thin line between harmony and hatred. Let me try this. There is a thin line. You can love somebody by 2 o'clock. And by 5 p.m., to hell with him. And it don't have to be your enemies either. It could be the Negro that's sitting next to you or laying next to you in the bed. Y'all gonna say amen to this? And a man can hate. He can hate just as much as he can love. That's why we hear on the news and see reports, Jimmy, that the man that was dating the lady on the news all of a sudden got so mad at her that he killed a woman, watch this, took her bones and put her up under the house. Y'all ain't gonna say amen. Can I keep going? Can I testify? Can I testify to our young daughters? Are you prancing in front of him now? See? And he tells you the best thing since sliced bread. But you gonna batten your eye at Luca tomorrow. Y'all ain't gonna say, man, his best friend if you want to. You gonna see him cut up at lunch. Y'all ain't gonna say, man, because watch this, you put a man in a place where his feelings become all over the place. I know y'all not gonna say amen to that. That's why grudges happen. That's why ghetto pursuits happen. That's why we live with a I'm gonna get you sucker mentality. It's because we can move from harmony to hatred in the matter of a drop. Brothers and sisters, I want to tell you that. And we watch these things on news and we don't understand how limited a man's maturity is. When a man is working a job for 15 years, you've seen the story on the news. He turns his resignation in that day. What changed? His nature changed when he changed clothes, but he went back to the same job he worked for 15 years and went in there and went to killing all his co-workers. Do I have any witnesses out there that can testify there's a thin line between harmony and hatred? Yes, it is. That's why we were watching the movie in the book of Revelation class just on Wednesday, and there's a part that we were watching. Where it says, Robbie, you left your mother in the nursing home and you were somewhere else doing something you had no business, Rob. Y'all ain't gonna say amen to this. Because the worst kind of thing, brothers and sisters, is when a man moves from harmony to hatred. And let me tell you something, if you're not careful, brothers, you will find out that life will put you in a position to cause you to hate one person you can't afford to, and that's yourself. Can I park here and talk to that about brothers and sisters who are in a place where you hate yourself? I don't think that we all here on church this morning, that nobody in here hates themselves. Listen to how you talk. Listen to how you look in the mirror. I know people who avoid mirrors so that they won't have to see themselves. Oh, I wish I had somebody to testify in this place that hatred exists, brothers and sisters. Hatred exists, and the only person that can save a man from hating himself is God and God alone. Not only does a man have limited maturity, but secondly, a man can't handle mixed feelings. James 1:8 says it like this: a double-minded man is unstable in all of his ways. This is what is happening. Esau, man, hates Jacob because we live on merit. Scoot up, brothers and sisters. You live based upon the last thing somebody said and done to you. I'm like that. I can't go around being cordial with you, and the last thing that we said, you told me, get out of my face, sucker, I don't like you. Y'all ain't gonna hear him saying it. But there are some people that are have and talk crazy like that, and then come up to you tomorrow like nothing ever was said. Hey, how's everything? I know. Negro, The last time me and you talked, it wasn't good terms. Can I testify and be real? I need some real saints in here. Right? Let's straighten that out before we move on. Because that could have been the breakup point from us communicating. Will somebody testify to that? That's because men can't handle mixed feelings. Help me, ladies. Ladies can do it all day. I feel like preaching now. Ladies can be phony with each other. Y'all ain't gonna say amen. See, y'all got quiet. They can talk behind each other's back and be eating Skittles in church. You sitting back saying, I thought y'all wasn't friends no more. They over there eating chicken, laughing about who got a new job and everything. I thought you hated her. That's just what we do. Now, is that what y'all do? Men cannot handle mixed feelings. Mixed emotions are conflicts and they competing feelings that leave a man undecisive about either hating someone enough to kill them or loving them enough to forgive them. Can I say that again? Mixed feelings put us in a place, brothers and sisters, where we are undecided on whether or not we hate somebody enough to kill them or love them enough to forgive them. And these feelings, my friends, make us confused. It's confused. I hate you. So we say stuff like that. Then we say that, but before you leave, can I get a kiss? Can I come get y'all today? Yeah, I was just counseling on yesterday. Lady was talking about just going back and forth with her separated husband. All right, he acts a monkey. That's the reason they've been separated 10 years. And then she says these words. And then he says, when he says, I got this extra change for one of the kids, can I spend the night? Y'all ain't gonna say, man. She says, I looked at him and told him, let the good Lord hit you. Because men, y'all ain't gonna say, man, can't handle mixed feelings. You live with him, so don't be overly critical with other people.
All right.
If you've been a parent, you have to live with mixed feelings. On one hand, you want to grab and choke the life out of the very kids God gave you. Then all of a sudden, you're reaching in your purse saying you need some money to go to the movies. Y'all ain't gonna say, man, y'all sitting here being hypocritical. Man cannot handle mixed feelings. It makes you feel some kind of, y'all ain't gonna say that, some kind of way. And this is what is happening in our text. Esau is getting ready to entertain Jacob, who he has not seen for some time, and he has mixed feelings about it. Mixed feelings can make you miserable. Do I have anybody out there can testify? But you don't know what to do when your feelings are all over the place. Mixed feelings has a way of doing three things. Number one, it makes you question your identity. Say that with me. It makes me question my identity. It simply means this. Has this problem bothered you so that you have become problem? Anybody ever had some problems that by the time you entertained it put you in a whole different level of how you felt? All of a sudden you thought you was a sweet and kind person. You thought you was a person that was gentle and always there for other people. But something can happen. Y'all ain't gonna say man. That can put you in a place where you're singing that song, don't put me close to the edge. Y'all ain't gonna say you don't know which one. You don't know if you're the saint on Sunday, first Sunday that wore the white with the clear hair and the nice clothes, or you don't know if you got on a black jumpsuit and a black mask with black gloves on ready to take somebody's life. That's what it is to have mixed feelings. And can I tell you, brothers and sisters, things can happen to you in your life, in relationships, and things can happen to you in circumstances that put you in a place where you're asking, who am I? Some of you there right now, you was kind and gentle till you got in that relationship. And by the time that spirit you hooked up with wore you out, it left you tired, your bones don't work like they used to, and you look in the mirror trying to figure, who am I? Y'all ain't gonna say, man. It makes you question your identity, but secondly, write this down, it makes you overlook your deficiency. The deficiency is when you're trying to handle these mixed feelings, brothers and sisters, it makes you overlook the fact of the stuff that you did not know. You didn't know that there was another force that was fighting against you and the one that you said you love. Do you not know that? Have y'all not watched movies and things before? How when this girl was trying to start over and have a relationship with this boy, her mother had been lonely for a long time, so she went in there and started manipulating her daughter because she wanted her daughter to be her best friend and not marry this boy. So she began to manipulate her daughter and say, you sure he's at work? You sure he's at baseball practice with the boy? Because she was manipulating. See, you got to be careful about going upon the opinions and the instructions of other people when they ain't holy. See, that's why the world and the church and homes are messed up. You are going on based upon what somebody told you and what somebody said to you about a circumstance. But brothers and sisters, how many know you sometimes got to find out the truth by yourself? And that's a problem, that people are hating other people and you don't even know them. Y'all, my God, people are hating people they never took the time to know based upon what somebody else said. Y'all ain't gonna say man. See, and that's a deficiency of man. He acts upon what he knows, but what he don't know many times is there's a force that is playing against you to hate your brother. Yes. That's what they said back in the days of slavery, Sam. They would take one black man and put him against another black man and make him fight in the floor. Yes, they would fight all night and says, one of y'all can't leave until you kill the other. All of a sudden it made you have to change from being a lover to the brother that you love. Now you're forced to have to survive to kill him or be killed. That's what society would do with you, brothers and sisters, if you are not careful. And that is a force that is to cause us to hate each other and the fight. It's in our communities. It's in our families. My God, I haven't seen it like I've seen it before in this hour. And that is, people have a deficiency. They act on what they know and they never give room to what they don't know. You didn't know that the praises of your mother was really a compliment to you and your leadership. That's what was trying to happen. Sometimes God is trying to encourage you by saying, look at this. I have a cousin that called me a few days ago. She says, today is Dad's birthday. I said, you know what? It is Unc's birthday today. That's what I said. And she says, you know what I thought about while I was sitting there, Michael? I said, what was it? I'm waiting on a wonderful comment. She's getting ready to say. She says, when I thought about my daddy, I thought about every time he comes in there talking about, you need to try to be like Michael. I was like, sweet Jesus, I need to hang up this phone. This is crazy. But I had to listen to it because I had to turn my attention from being offended to ministry. I said, why would that one thought of your dad's birthday make you think of that? She said, because he said it all the time. He compared you with us all the time, Michael. You just don't know. He compared us. See, brothers and sisters, it wasn't to try to damage her. He was trying to, watch this, he was trying to compliment her by saying, you can do better. And when we live based upon what we know and not evaluate our deficiencies of what we don't know, brothers and sisters, we have a tendency to be misery in mixed emotions. And then the third thing that happens with mixed emotions is not only does it make you question your identity, does it make you overlook your deficiency, but brothers, can I tell you this? It makes you manipulate your sustainability. Do you know what I mean when I say that? Simply meaning this. How many know it takes a whole lot of energy to keep up an attitude? Oh, y'all making this hard. Watch this. A man cannot sustain hateful feelings. Now, how many of y'all said y'all was through with somebody? You know what you said? And then they came in your presence. Yes. Yes. Then they came in your presence. Yes. And you tore your face up. Yes. Because you wanted them to know you will not have the advantage over me. Yes. But down on the inside, really, you were wanting them to reach for you for a hug. Y'all, they ain't gonna say anything because, listen, it is true that it takes 43 muscles to frown. And it only takes 17 muscles to smile. In other words, watch this. The mixed emotions can stress you and your body so much. Do you not know that the Bible teaches that when your spirit is vexed, it'll wear out your bones? You better be careful about walking around being stressed about people and mad at people too long. Because after a while, that stuff will take its place in your own body and in your own mind. The only thing that can bring something that Esau found out when Jacob is getting ready to approach him, brothers and sisters, is simply this. The only thing that can bring healing to a damaged relationship, are you ready? is time. Now Esau had Jacob show up a little before, maybe a day or two after, yes, after he had hurt his brother, then maybe the conversation and the outcome would have been different. But this has been years. I said this has been years. This has been years now that Esau has not saw his brother Jacob. It's been years. Their children are grown. It's been years, brothers and sisters. Watch this, because time will wear out hatred. Ain't nobody gonna say amen today. Time restores good thoughts and resets righteous feeling. Time makes you, watch this, confront your heart. Write this down. Psalm 4:4 says these words: commune upon your bed alone with your own heart. Simply saying this, sometimes you got to take some time out to think about why you mad. Anybody ever took time out to think why you was mad and found out that you was a hypocrite? That the very thing you mad at somebody, you've done to somebody else before. I need some real people in here. Woo. And what time does, it makes you confront your own self. That's what it will do. And it make you like Esau had to do with Jacob. The longer Jacob had been away, the more time both of them had to think. And I close what the text is saying. They close with evaluating three things. The three things there in our text, as I'm on my way to bring healing when men fight. And all of your life, brothers and sisters, you're going to have somebody that you're going to have confrontation. You're going to have dilemmas. You're going to have to deal with people that you love in a way where sometimes you love them, sometimes you hate them. Sometimes you're in harmony. Sometimes you just wish they just get all away from you. This is feelings that you will ever have to deal with in your life. And men that don't handle that maturity well on how to handle mixed feelings sometimes kill people they should have gave a second chance to. Sometimes get rid of people in your life who you really needed in your life. Y'all talk to me, somebody. And so the text closes with the one verse that we have in the beginning there in Genesis 33:4. The first thing that I want you to make a note of it is that brings healing, yes, to men hating men is number one, they overcame with grace. Yes. Now, whatever Esau thought when Jacob got to town, I'm sure he had a whole lot of feelings. Hey, man, yeah, what's up? Have you heard? What's that? Your brother in town. That Negro in town? What are you here for? Now, you got to remember now the energy that I'm painting, because you got to remember Esau had to bury his daddy and his mother alone. Jacob wasn't around. I'm trying to build my case. See, sometimes you can be mad at somebody for one thing, but as time goes along, you got more and more you add to their file and to their case. Now, at first I'm mad because you stole my birthright. Secondly, I'm mad because you manipulated daddy. But thirdly, now I'm mad because you didn't even show up to the funeral. So I can imagine when Esau showed up and heard that his brother was in town, that he was mixed with a whole lot of feelings. But how many know you ought to thank God for grace? Ooh. And can I tell you, when you're walking around with these kind of feelings, my brothers and sisters, can I tell you that hatred hurts families? Boy, ain't nobody gonna say amen. Their kids never had a time to grow up to know each other. Their wives had, yes, no fellowship. Years of love had been wasted away. And their father Isaac and their mother Rebekah had died. And Esau was left to have to handle it, and Jacob was nowhere to help. Esau's heart had changed some kind of way, brothers and sisters, when he saw Jacob. Because when he was forced to deal with the fact, I can hate my brother enough to kill him, or I can love my brother enough to forgive him. Can I tell you, you will live there many days of your life. And can I tell you what Esau did? Esau, when he saw his brother Jacob, watch this, he changed his heart. Yeah. And can I tell you that distance does make the heart grow fonder, is what we have learned, brothers and sisters. I got to tell you that Esau changed his heart towards his brother Jacob. And not only did Esau change, but Jacob changed. Can I tell you, you need to stop wasting your time hoping that you need to knock somebody out to change them. Y'all ain't gonna say amen. You need to stop wasting your time hoping that something bad happened to them that changed them. But the same God that can change you is the same God that can change the person you mad at. They were overcome with grace. Esau had changed because they thought that because he didn't have a birthright that he wouldn't have the blessing. Can I tell you that there are some people who are so spiritual, they believe that only God can bless them. But Esau looked Jacob in the face and said this, Negro, ain't no reason you coming up in here thinking that you the only one that's been blessed because you stole the birthright. He said, but when you left, he said this, God increased my territory. See, nobody ever tells Esau's story, and that is this, God is not partial who he blessed. He ain't just blessing you because you coming up in church. He blessing the bomb that walked by you when you was driving by in your fancy car. God reigns on the just as well as the unjust. Lean over to your neighbor and tell him, neighbor, let me park right here. Tell him, I know you cute. Tell him, I know your wig is fancy. But tell him you're not the only one who God has blessed in this house. Somebody wave at your player right now. Is there anybody in here that say, I may not drive what you drive, and maybe I had to want to when I want to, because God has a way of making a way for me. Y'all sitting there looking at me like you don't know what I'm talking about. But let me tell you something, you don't have to have a big fancy house to give God some praise. If you went in your house and turned the door and got a cat and a Frigidaire, y'all ain't gonna say that, man. If you got somewhere to iron your clothes, you may not even have an ironing board, but you gotta put it across the counter and press your, y'all ain't gonna say amen. Shut down your neighbor and say, he may not bless me like he blessed you, but tell him he's a good God to me. And he's just not good sometimes yet. Hey! You gotta learn how to praise God. Let me tell you something, when I was coming up, I used to hang around some real players. I said some real players. I said I was in the hood with some real players. And Marvin, what would happen every now and then, I would be around a real player. I'd be saying, man, Doc, look at the gold chain you got on your neck. He said, yeah. I said, look at the gold tooth you got in your mouth. He said, yeah. I said, man, it must have been real expensive. He said, player, I don't have it like the other players. He said, matter of fact, this gold tooth ain't nothing but foil I painted gold. Y'all ain't gonna say amen. He said, but I'm gonna fake it until God bless me to have it like somebody else. I dare you jump up on your seat and go over and high five two people and say, he's still good to me. I may not have 24 teeth, I may not 10, but those 10 are good. I chew on the left side only. Y'all better come get me. I may not have a perm like you have, but I got a hot comb. Y'all be gonna say that. Y'all ain't never went nowhere. Come on, high five somebody behind you and tell them don't get it twisted. Esau was getting ready, Sister Kim, to have hatred for Jacob until he thought about it. God blessed me with no birthright. Can I say this to you? Some of you need to praise God this morning because God blessed you and you didn't deserve it. Did y'all hear what I said over here on this side? Some of y'all need to give God a hallelujah praise because he blessed you anyway. If you had to have what other folks had to have to get blessed, you wouldn't have never got your blessing. That's why 20 people need to jump up and say, thank God for grace and mercy. Don't y'all sit there and play me, but some of y'all wouldn't be where you are if it wasn't for the favor of the Lord. Your hands can read. Y'all ain't gonna say that. But you got a fat note in your pocket. You can wave it and say, the Lord is still. I was mad at you until I thought about how good God been to me. And when I thought about how good God been to me, I had grace for you. Because he didn't have to do it, but he. Y'all hear what I'm telling you? That's why, brothers and sisters, you can't hold on to hatred too long. Because watch this. It's no way you can be a child of the Lord. And the good things that God, so you saying this, you know what, I can't stand him. They get on my nerve, they ain't never done anything. Then God start talking to you. Hold on, player. You ain't been too good either. I'm going to throw this mic at y'all. Lean over and grab your neighbor by the hand and say, neighbor, I was just sitting there thinking about all my haters and while I was mad at them. But you know what I found out? That I am no better than them. Esau looks at his brother coming down the road. Becky says, man, I hate the guy. Watch this. I hate him, but I miss him. And let me see if somebody will really testify. You had somebody you was in relationship with. And the last time you saw him, you hated him. You was through. Matter of fact, you hope they never come back. But then when they got close enough, and you smell their cologne. Woo. I know who wear that. I ain't seen him yet, but you gotta be close. Can I help you? God has a perfume that'll make you change your mind. On things you used to hate, you started up. Number one, they overcome with grace. I got to move on. But number two, write this down. They embraced. Because some of you think you can forgive without embracing. But the Bible is written by the Jews. There is no forgiveness unless you hug me. Let me help y'all what we do in our community. We all right? Yeah, we all right. All right. Let me come over here. I'm from the hood. We all right? All right. Let me try the middle. I know I got some help here. We all right? All right. And then what mama said, what I love about grandmother, them, so Kim, my family, what my grandmother would do, she'd say this: y'all hug and kiss each other. And you be sitting there, hey? You know why? Because you ain't forgetting until you embrace. You can say all you want to say, but until you embrace, you ain't forgiven. And I found out in the book of Revelation, everything you hold somebody else accountable for, you're going to be judged by it when you get to heaven. They're going to have a list. They're going to say, oh, we have washed away all your sins, but here are the sins that you got in your closet you held against others. Come on up here and let me help you. Brothers and sisters, they embraced. And the text says they fell into each other's arms. Scoot up, brothers. Can I tell you this? They wasn't gay either. They were acting godly. Amen. Somewhere in the black community, somebody taught us that black men don't hug. He said when one of the homies died, spilled a little beer. Man, see, it got to be painful. But the embracing was holy. I said the embracement was holy. Oh. And in a moment, I'm going to call you to the altar. You know why? Because there's some folks you said you forgave, but you ain't embracing. I'm just talking about it here. Somebody's going to be a surrogate for you. Because watch this, some of you held on the grudge too long that the person you needed to embrace is already dead. Yes. Do you not know you can hold on to it till they die? And be at the funeral? Watch this, some of y'all don't even know that half of your relatives trying to get into the casket is trying to get in there because they never forgave. And some of them because grandmama never forgave them for what they done. Is this too much? Healing and restoration happens when we embrace. Say it with me. Healing and restoration happens when we embrace. You know why? A warm embrace of love can dissolve the emotion of hatred on any day. Come on, give me a hug. No! Give me a hug. I ain't hugging you, nigga. I don't think I'm being carnal. This is the language that we talk all the time. I had to scold one of my aunties at the reunion. She was all out. I said, Auntie, you can't get in a line like that. They did not ask you to do that. And the only reason I said so was because I was the chairperson of the reunion. Who you talking to, boy? I said, Auntie, I'm talking to you. You can't go that way. You can't go in the back of the line getting fish and chicken. The line over here. So later on, I went up to her like this and said, give me a hug. I ain't hugging you, nigga. That's what she told me. Watch this. Notice in the text, the only reason I say this, I'm closing. It's not Jacob running to Esau. It's Esau running to Jacob. You slow, let me explain to you. Esau was the one who was offended. Jacob was the one who did the offense. The one who was offended is running at the offender with his arms out. That's how you know you got Christ. Because you can embrace and hug people who did wrong to you. Does it hurt you, brothers and sisters, when you're not in fellowship with people you love? If it don't, you got a bad heart. I know many people, and I tell folks all the time when I was at the funeral, First Lady when I was at the funeral, I said this, it was good that y'all got to hang around the bed with Grandma before she died. What a wonderful feeling to say your last words. I said, I not have that with my dad and my brother. I never got to say goodbye. Let me tell you something. When you live with that reality, that you don't know when people gonna die, you don't know when people gonna go, you'll try to get it right with them. Especially those who want to go to heaven. They overcome with grace, they embrace, here's the last thing, they exchange face. Y'all ever seen two men kiss each other on the cheek? Or on the lips? I mean, first time I seen a man kiss his son on the lips, I said, this is some mess. It's a mess. Because watch this, I was immature, I didn't know. See, when I go home, I don't shake my boys' hand. I wrap around them, they wrap around, we have a conversation. How was your day? It was good, man. I mean, that's great. Dad, how you doing? A little tired, but I'm pushing. Thank you for asking. There are many men in here who have mustaches that were never embraced and loved by their fathers. So they pass that down. Sometimes we go over and pray. You know who the worst folks is to pray for each other? Men. Don't know how to tap into that emotion. Half of them just hold hands, do this. The time to pray. Because we don't know how to engage. It went till I went to New York, Miss Judy, and I saw a priest walking with his 5-year-old son. He was reading the scripture. He was keeping in line with it. And he would just walk, and he would walk and share the scripture and read with it. And they would get to these certain mile markers on the script during Yom Kippur. What they would do is the father would lean down and kiss his son on the lips and on the cheeks. And the son would there, he would say, I received my blessing from my daddy. Can I tell you this? If you never got it from the Father that you had, you can get it from the Father. Yes. Kissing is affirmation or confirmation that I love you. That's what that means. That's why when I come down as a father in the house of God, I lay hands on the brothers. I embrace them. Some of it used to be new to them. Hey, brother. That's how it used to be. Hey. I remember one time I used to try to hug Terry. Let me tell you something. That was a walk in the park. Y'all remember what I'm telling you? Because he was like, man, what you doing? I said, well, I'm trying to hug you like a father hugs a son. Now it's natural. I caught him one time reaching. I was passing by, he was getting ready like this. Isn't that wonderful? No, that's what happened to my dad. My first embrace of my own father, I embraced him. And then he whispers to me, boy, you ain't funny, are you? I said, no, Dad. I just had somebody teach me a different way. Yeah. Or something you never had. My dad, with tears in his eyes, opened up to me. He says this, when I was growing up, we was afraid of my dad, my father. When he came home, he was always just, y'all got the firewood? Y'all take out the trash? Everything was, he said, and so what the brothers would do when he pull up, we go scattering off the porch like this. But not in this case. Esau, Jacob, fall on each other's neck. And they kissed. And they wept. You know what kissing means? I'm close. It simply means this. I don't mean you no harm. My heart is innocent with you. That's when Judas came. It's the same kiss years later. When Judas came to kiss Jesus and put his lips on Jesus, says, you kiss me? You betray me with the innocence of kissing? Kissing was a sign when you kiss. And when folks don't want to kiss you, their heart ain't right with you. Come on, give me a kiss. And sometimes it ain't that you done something to them, it's they got something going on. So Jesus says unto him, go and do what you do quickly, Judas. Because you've been plotting something in your heart, it showed up in your lips. When brothers fight, it tears things apart. When men are at odds, time goes by and life can be a great waste. Brothers and sisters, don't let life go by holding grudges. Don't let life go by with disagreements that you don't fix as soon as they can happen. Are you hearing what I'm saying? And though you may not have been taught these things in your house, listen to the word of the Lord and apply it, and it'll work for you.
Something happens when I mention Jesus.
Something about that name. Something special. Supernatural. Anybody know the name?